Alright, welcome back everybody. This is the Benjinator. You're watching Let's Play Xenogears, the greatest game ever. So last time we managed to break into Fatima Castle and we saved Margie. Fei has defeated all of his opponents. So it looks like everything's alright. Right? Not quite so much. It's our friend Ramses. We didn't see him for a while, but he's the Geblar officer that obviously has some kind of issue. Mental issues, I should say. So, this is an interesting part of the game just because this is one of the few difficult boss battles that we're going to be fighting pretty soon. And my original playthrough, I actually forgot that there was a save point just before. So, it's a good thing that there is. Because otherwise we'd be in deep shit. Yeah. So obviously there's this little going back and forth between the two. The Geblar geek. Probably the most ineffectual insult of all time, but we'll give it to Bart. He's only about, what, 16, I think, in this game? So, this first battle is actually not too bad. This will give me a chance to just kind of show you how Ramses typically works. So yeah, text is a little bit sped up in battles for some reason. I think the frame rate's a little bit lower. I'm not exactly sure why that's the case, but Bart hitting on women while you're fighting them. He's such a silly man. Leave a... No, we'll treat you just fine. We will not torture you for days on end. Either way. Those single quotation marks. Heard that in the background. It's a jerk. Yep. Okay. Enough with you blabbering. Let's get this fighting on. Okay, so the way that this typically works is, yeah, I forgot to completely heal. That's okay, though. So in this case, what you really just want to do is you want to go for the strongest possible techniques. You can use Wild Smile a little later, and that can be helpful. The only problem is that that typically gets healed. It's a good thing we got armor. It's really is about the armor in this particular case, in this particular dungeon, just because, like, if you don't have any armor, or you have, you know, like the armor that you get in the very beginning of the game, every enemy will do so much more damage to you, including Ramses. So what we could use is Wild Smile, which would lower his accuracy. The only problem with that is that Mei Ling, or Mei Ying, I should say, she likes to heal that. So you can't target Mei Ling, unfortunately. And when he's doing this mirror stance, just don't attack him. Just defend, and as you can see, Margie will heal you, which is pretty nifty. But of course, Mei Ling will also do that, which kind of sucks. Of course, she only does it 40, which is kind of nice. But yeah, like, if you attack while he's in mirror stance, you're just gonna get absolutely slaughtered. He does, like, a counterattack that's like 120 damage. It's really not worth it. This is, of course, annoying, but once he gets out of the stance, as you can see, it's a little bit easier. Alright, now we can just go crazy on him. So, this, in his current form, he's not gonna do a whole lot of, damage, which is good. Which is very good. Yeah, see, there you go. You got him. Here comes Fei. Oh, yeah. Look at that. In the nick of time. Boom. Did the, what is it? Not Senritsu, like the first technique he ever learns, that I hardly ever use. He just used that. You okay, bot? You doing alright? Fei. Well, you know, after he won the tournament, he didn't really have much else to do, so he's like, I might as well, help out Bart. Ooh. Yeah, here we go. So, yeah, we're gonna see a Ramses flashback. You're gonna be seeing quite a few of these, actually. Who's that guy? It's Ronnie James Dio with red hair. I kind of wish. Well, I mean, Ronnie James Dio is a short man, so he did kick a lot of ass. So let's just pretend it's Ronnie James Dio. Actually, it's funny. My friend Jared and I, we're going to be doing an LP of Shadow Hearts, and one of the characters, like, we always name the characters 80s rock stars, so keep an eye out for that. We do name one of them Ronnie James Dio. Well, shit. Okay. And now here's where things get a little bit trickier. Mostly because Ramses has a wider ability to have himself restored, and he has more HP. So, the way to win this battle is to harness your strength, first of all. So we want to use Iron Valor. Iron Valor, which unfortunately you can only use on Fei. But, do you remember that Samson's hair we got a while back? Well, now we get to use that. And that's going to be incredibly useful right here. So, Bart is going to, you know, have his strength boosted. And now we can just kind of do our thing. And thankfully we got good armor, so we should be in good shape. Again, I'm making this battle look a little bit easier than it actually is. Oh, I don't have Hagan. Whoops. 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 So we can still, and Margie will restore both of you. She doesn't only exclusively restore Bart, just so you know. We got 6 AP points for Bart. That's pretty cool. So we'll be able to learn whatever his next technique is. 200 damage, not too shabby. Especially with those attack boosts and so forth. Yeah, I've been getting, as far as LPs go, I've been kind of getting a little bit more, a better glimpse on some of the larger LPers are out there. When I first started the art of Let's Plays, my kind of go-to was this guy named H.C. Bailey. You can probably still find him pretty easily on YouTube. You know, he's done a lot of old school games. He hasn't done this one, but he's kind of like the JRPG emperor, in my opinion. But I've been checking out a few other ones, too, that I really enjoy. There's, of course, the Game Grumps that I've been watching a lot of, even though recently, one of the former ones, JonTron, who's got his own channel, I think has recently gotten into trouble for saying some pretty highly controversial stuff. But they're still fun to watch. The modern Game Grumps I kind of prefer. And it's kind of good to know that I don't think that any of my projects and their projects are ever going to be overlapping. In other words, the games that I intend to cover are probably going to be ones that they will never cover. Oh, there we go. Ramses went down pretty easily. So yeah, you know, they do a lot of like Nintendo games and Zelda games and Mario games and what are those horror adventure games like Silent Hill. They do stuff like that. Whereas my focus is definitely more JRPGs. So anyway, it's kind of good to know what else is going on. Suspicious. What the hell? So remember, guys, this is all... Whoa, look at that. Is that the guy from, Was that the dude from Ramses' flashback? Might have been. So remember to keep all this in mind, guys, because this game has a way of foreshadowing things and dropping clues. So none of this is accidental. Like, none of this is just them trying to be flashy or mysterious for the case of it. She's releasing rats. Looked like little dust specks, but they're actually rats. So, this is something you want to keep in mind, is that you really want to be sure... Oh, make a dash for the elevator. Yeah, so Ramses suspects that Fei is somebody that he's met in the past, which is interesting. But yeah, like all this stuff, there is kind of like a master narrative to this game. There's not really much in the way of plot holes. Everything kind of adds up, so that's really something to keep in mind. The magical elevator. I love how suddenly this goes from like some Persian fortress to like some futuristic infirmary looking place. By the way, guys, I apologize if I'm going through the text a little bit fast. I guess I just naturally tend to read quickly, and so even though I try to slow down, it doesn't feel like I'm... It feels like my version of slow is probably a little bit speedy for most people. So I apologize about that. Alright, so here we are in the magical infirmary. Let's try to get out of here. And you're going to be seeing a lot of these hallways later on, by the way. This tile set. This background, so to speak. Okay, now I'm not doing anything. Well, are we going to be able to get out of here? Ooh, maybe we can commandeer that big giant ship. No, I don't think that you can commandeer a battleship with just 3 people. I've seen Battlestar Galactica. I know it's not that easy. Meanwhile, we're gonna get chased down by the stormtroopers, apparently. And this is another part where you can't actually control anything. I kind of wish you could, and then like do one of those things where you try to get ahead of the soldiers, and if they catch up to you, you fight them in battle. But those particular enemies you will fight later. Oh, look, it's Ellie. Haven't seen her in a while. She does like to show up every once in a while, though. Yep. Sorry, Ellie. Do not harm the girl. Oh, hello. Fancy seeing you here. Well, I kind of work here, Fei. You know, like, I'm part of Geblar. You're not. You and your merry band of 2 people. Yeah. Intruders, what are you talking about? We were hired to cater this party. Yeah, you know, I understand that Faye and Ellie have a past, but if I were Bart, I'd be saying the exact same thing. Are you freaking kidding me? Are you kidding me? Yep. Those soldiers. Don't worry, guys. They're seriously the dumbest soldiers in the universe. That's them running past and conveniently not checking this one room. I mean, I guess it makes sense because it's like an officer's headquarters or something, but still, I mean, wouldn't you just be like, sorry, ma'am, for bugging you, but have you seen a dude with a ponytail, a pirate, and some chick with a cape? That looks like... She's basically wearing, like... Margie's wearing a Little Red Riding outfit, if you think about it. Like, she's basically just wolf bait. No wonder she got captured. That's the perfect outfit that says, I am a JRPG character that's gonna have to be rescued at some point. Yeah. This is kind of a tricky situation. Elheim Van Houten. Yeah, as I mentioned in a previous video, actually, Elheim is like it is a mystical reference. It is a Judeo-Christian overtone. It is a reference to what is typically the Hebrew reference to God. So that's somewhat significant. And like I said, I don't. This is when Ellie's admitting that she was part of this, huh? Yeah, Faye was unawares. Well, this might end badly. Oh. What? You knew, Faye. Oh, yeah. Yeah, you guys weren't exactly talking quietly, were you? Y'all crazy. Well, Faye was pretty traumatized at the time. Let's not blame him for that. Don't worry about blowing up my village. Yeah, you had your own shit to deal with. It's fine. It's not a big deal. Yep. So we're kind of rebelling against your empire. Thought you might know. Might cause some problems for us. Yeah. Well. Plausible deniability. Never saw him. Shekan. That guy's terrible. Check-in is no good. She's not a bad person, because I'm Little Red Riding Hood. And everybody's good in my eyes. Yeah. I mean, really, I would say between Bart and Ellie, they're the most sane people. I mean, Ellie's probably just thinking like, I'll just claim that I never saw them, that I was preoccupied with something much more important, and I didn't really have time to deal with the incompetencies of my inferior officers. Don't worry, it's all gonna work out. You know why? Because this is a JRPG and we're just getting started. The game can't end now. that would be sorely disappointing if we just get captured and the game ended. It's like one of those old click and point adventures games where like you just end up in a lose state and there's nothing you can do about it except for starting the game over. No, there we go. Well, it's not quite the well tall, but it'll do. Rest is up to fate. I don't know if that's the best thing to say. Like if you're if you're sneaking into an enemy installation, you run into somebody that you think you trust that's on the other side and says, and she says to you, the rest is up to fate. That's not very reassuring. Unless you come with us. Then maybe we'll feel a little bit better about it. This is not your line of work. Even though, like, you're probably, like, the third highest ranking person in the Solarian Empire, this is not your line of work. Yeah. Standing around and having a heart-to-heart right now is probably not the best idea. Ellie, no. Famous last words. I feel like that's been done in games and movies and books, just like two characters that are supposed to not like each other, and one of them helps them out and then says just before the other character leaves, like, yeah, I'm helping you out this time, but next time we're gonna have blows, okay? And then sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's a thing. Woo! All right. We are out of here. It would suck if that thing malfunctioned just before it launched us. Oh, the Wyvern. Message from Hugh. Who is Hugh? Okay. Guess we're not doing anything right now. Suspicious indeed. There's the Cuban flag. Well, it's not the Cuban flag. It just... Those two flags, if you put them together, they kind of look like the Cuban flag, but it's not the case. Why the fuck did you get caught, little girl? Stop being stupid. You heard a rumor and you decided to go after them. That is not smart. Yeah, come on. Think, Margie. Think. Well, the old butler's always going to defend them. I mean, if you ever saw that movie Richie Rich, the butler Cadbury was always defensive of Richie Rich when he wanted to just play with those poor kids. There's some 90s nostalgia right there. I mean, this game, but also the movie Richie Rich. Well, all's well that ends well. I mean, we basically got out alive. We got a bunch of new information. Oh, this is actually one of the more famous pieces that's playing in Xenogears. I forget what it's called. I'm sure there's a track listing. And I'm sure that on YouTube you can sample it. But it's one of the best. It's one of the good ones. There's better pieces. And overall, this entire game has a fantastic soundtrack. But I thought it would just be worth noting. Margie! Margie! Don't get captured again! Oy vey. Oy friggin' vey. Well, at least we survived that. You know, that could have gone a lot worse. I mean, in a lot of JRPGs too, like, oftentimes these rescue missions, they don't go quite how they're planned out. Like, you know, you might get the person you want to rescue back, but then, like, sometimes you lose one of your party members, or somebody turns out to be, like, a spy or something. So, it can be... Yeah, we can't get into the bridge right now. This little pink thing, actually... I will say that this game has very few flaws, but as you'll see, as this game goes on, this little pink thing, it's one of the elements of the game that I think doesn't really fit in. Like, because, you know, there's a lot of JRPGs that have, like, you know, cutesy animals or something, or some kind of character that's kind of Genki-ish, I guess, which is, you know, the typical sort of, like, anime character that's, you know, cutesy and hyperactive. It doesn't really match the serious tone of this game, but anyway, I digress. Alright, we've reached the save point finally, which means that we can now take a break. Alright, so Operation Rescue Margie was a success, and now we're going to be bringing her back to Nissan, the magical Nunland. Are we going to be able to make it there? Is there going to be a big, fat, evil surprise? Find out in the next episode of Let's Play Xenogears. This is the Benjinator. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later.